Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This week we're looking at working out time taken for two different routes. So I want you to work out how long the yellow route would take and how long the blue route would take going from A to B. The map is the Harvey Superwalker 1 to 25,000, and I've got a licensing agreement with Harvey's to use their maps for these tasks. So how long would those routes take? Now, some people in the comments on social media have said, well, we can't say because we don't know what the terrain's like. Other people have said it depends on your fitness. Well, yeah, we can take those things into consideration and it would make a difference, but we need to have some kind of general rule to allow us to plan how long our walks or runs would take. We can't just say, well, I can't possibly say because I don't know what the terrain's like. So let's assume that the vegetation is the same for both routes there. We're not going to get, up to our necks in bracken or anything like that. We'll assume it's the same for both. And then you might decide that you'd add or take time off based on your own fitness and your preferences for up or downhill. Now, I've said use Naismith's rule to try and work out how long it would take. Now, what is Naismith's rule? So it's a formula that's going to help people work out how long a walking route would take, taking into account distance and also height gain. So Naismith says that average walking speed would be 5 kilometers an hour. I prefer to think about minutes per kilometre because that gives you minutes to cover a grid square. So 5 kilometres an hour is 12 minutes per kilometre, or 12 minutes to cover a grid square. And then Naismith says that we add a minute for every 10 metres climbed. And that's great if we're using a map with 10-metre intervals on the contours because we just add a minute for every contour line that we cross on the way up. But if we look at the Harvey map, sorry, gone too far there. On the Harvey map, the contours are in 15-metre intervals. So it's not just a case of counting the contours and adding a minute. We've got to do a bit of basic maths. So let's have a look at the distances and the climbs for each of these routes. Let's look at the blue route to start with. So measuring the distance is 2.3 kilometers. So 12 minutes per kilometer. That would take us 28 minutes. What about the climb? Well, it's downhill all the way to the River West End. We might get a slight down and up there. But all the way down to the River West End, and then counting the contours on the way up, well, if you count carefully, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 contours, 8 15s, so that's 120 meters. So time for the up would be 12 minutes. So that gives us 28 minutes for the distance, 12 minutes for the climb, nice round 40 minutes for that. What about the yellow route? Well, we can see it's a bit further. It actually works out to be 3.75 kilometers. So time-wise for that is going to be 45 minutes. And then what about the climb? Well, we're down to one contour line here, and then we go up 2. We might have a slight rise from this stream up to the ridge. We might be able to discount that like we discounted this slight down and up here. And then down, and then we're just about brushing that contour, and then one up the other side. So let's call that 3 contours. So 3 contours is 45 meters. So let's call it 4 minutes for the climb. So what have we got there? 45 minutes for the distance, 4 minutes for the ascent, gives us 49 minutes. So it seems like the blue is quicker than the yellow in that case. Yeah, you might say, well, I don't like steep downs and steep ups. That's fine, but according to Naismith, the blue is faster. So have we got a social media top answer this week? Well, yes, we have. So this was sent in by Rob on Twitter, and Rob was very precise, spot on with the distances here, and he's worked out 39.1 minutes for the climb, for the blue route, compared to my 40 minutes, and 49.9 minutes compared to my 49 minutes for the yellow route. So Rob's saying that blue is quicker by about 10 minutes. So good stuff. Well done, Rob. So like I said, it's really useful to have some kind of formula, whether it's Naismith's or your own, just to help you work out how long you would take to cover the ground. Obviously, running is going to be faster than walking. I find that a good way of doing it is just halve the time. So you're going to be twice as fast running as you are walking. But work out what works for you. Anyway, that was this week's task. Thanks for watching, and look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.